Faced with ever-increasing air transport needs, Hong Kong International Airport must expand its facilities further in order to maintain its long-term competitiveness. Hong Kong International Airport Master Plan 2030 puts forward the proposal of building a third runway. Experts have carefully evaluated 15 possible locations for the new runway. In full consideration of factors such as aviation safety, airspace and geographical constraints, environmental impact, air traffic control procedures, operational efficiency and infrastructure development nearby. The final proposal is to reclaim around 650 hectares of land in the sea north of the airport island, giving us enough new land to build a new runway and necessary supporting facilities, such as a new apron, so that the new runway can operate at its maximum efficiency and boost the airport's handling capacity to 102 flights per hour. About 40% of the seabed in the recommended reclamation zone is contaminated mud pits. These pits have been in use since 1992 as the government's permanent solution for the disposal of contaminated marine mud arising from the city's earlier dredging and reclamation projects in the inner harbour and other areas. As this area has been disturbed by numerous construction projects in the past, its value in terms of marine ecology is relatively low. Consultants of the Airport Authority also studied the Chinese white dolphin database of the Agriculture, Fisheries and Conservation Department and found that the dolphins are most commonly seen in east of Lung Kwu Chau, between Lung Kwu Chau and Black Point, near Pak Chau and the Brothers Islands, as well as in the waters west of the Lantau Island. They are rarely seen near the north of the airport. In addition, most of the marine ecology-sensitive zones, such as the coral reef, the habitat of horseshoe crabs, and the seaweed bed near the coast, are situated along the North Lantau coastal line, which is far away from the recommended reclamation area. Also, since the mud contains contaminants, it must be contained in situ if reclamation is to be carried out, so as to avoid the leakage of contaminated materials affecting marine ecology. In view of different marine environments and work schedules, experts have put forward two reclamation methods, namely drained reclamation and deep cement mixing. Both methods do not require dredging and thus avoid churning up sedimentary materials that could affect water quality in the vicinity. The first proposed method, drained reclamation, is commonly used in Hong Kong. This method involves putting layers of earth and sand on the seabed, creating pressure to consolidate them, and extracting water from within the layers through weep holes, much like pressing down on a sponge full of water. It is estimated that a 12 to 14 meter thick layer of sand and earth needs to be laid, about 90% of which will consolidate through the pressurization process into new land in around 12 months. This method is only suitable for seabeds with no contaminated mud.
It's very commonly used in Hong Kong. It's a very simple process. It's relatively cheap. The problem with using it here, of course, is that it squeezes water out. That water may be contaminated by pollutants in the material which is in the contaminated mud pits.
Experts believe that another reclamation method may be used in the contaminated mud pit zone, and that is deep cement mixing. This method has been widely used in Japan since the 70s. It is also employed in many places in Asia, Europe and America. Japan's Haneda Airport used this method to construct its new runway, which came into operation in 2010. Just like using a blender, deep cement mixing slowly blends and injects cement into the soft mud of the seabed, stiffening it into the form of cement columns on top of which we can build the reclamation load.
Well, I think the main advantage of DCM is that it has a very low environmental impact. We don't have to remove the contaminated mud. We don't have to squeeze polluted water from the contaminated mud. We treat the mud in place with the cement, and we end up with a stiffened mud in place without any impact on the marine environment.
Although deep cement mixing involves much higher cost than other methods, we plan to use this method in the contaminated mud pit area if we are to conduct the reclamation to reduce the impact on the environment. If the decision is to construct a new runway, we will conduct a series of studies and on-site tests to ensure the project's feasibility and a desirable outcome before pushing forward with the plan. If reclamation is decided, we will proceed to work in our usual prudent and responsible manner. We will actively study and assess various reclamation methods and their potential impacts on the environment. In facilitating the future development of Hong Kong International Airport, we will also strive to minimize environmental impact to ensure the sustainable development of Hong Kong in the future.